So guys, I'm officially quitting keeping local chickens. I know it sounds, unique, but yeah, today I'm officially quitting keeping local birds. And if you want to know why I'm quitting today keeping local birds, don't scroll the video. Just watch this video up to the end. That way you will understand why today I'm saying no, I can't do poultry farming, as in like I cannot continue with the local birds anymore. So guys, get ready for the video. Hello guys, my name is Jacob and I'm a poultry farmer. And on this poultry farm, we have been doing local birds in here. Let me first try to show you. This is actually our poultry farm where we have been keeping our local birds, which I'm today saying that no, I can't continue with this anymore. So this is our fence. I think if you have been quite familiar on the channel, you do know what this fence was made of, because I've talked so much about this poultry farm, how I started it, in fact how I actually started building this poultry farm up to where it is right now. So in here, this is our poultry house, which we are actually keeping the local birds in here. So this is actually a brief look on the poultry farm. So the entrance, you can take a look at the patches. These are the patches where the birds rest at night, because these are local birds. They are not they are not meant to stay on the ground like the broilers and then the layers, so they tend to sleep on the patches. This is where they sleep. And then in here you can see that we do have a feeder. This is a feeder, and then some drinkers over here. So these were our laying nests, which the birds have been laying in here time and again. And yeah, I think this is a quick look at our poultry house. And then from outside, this poultry farm is a little bit large in size. You can take a look, guys, a little bit big. And then behind it we do have a cassava plant. We do planted some cassava in here because the land was huge, very huge, that we couldn't only keep the birds alone here. You can take a look. We also started harvesting the cassava, but it is dry season, guys. The sun is too hot. So this is basically how our poultry farm looks like. And the main reason for me actually filming this video is that it's been a while. I am not uploading videos, and some of you are even asking their minds, what is wrong with Mr. Jacob? This guy has been updating us about his poultry birds, how birds are laying, how birds are brooding, hatching. All these stuffs I've been teaching people on this channel, but all of a sudden you saw me being quiet, and then you guys have been asking yourselves that what could be the matter. So we are solving the matter today, and I'm actually telling you why I'm quitting poultry farming with the local birds in particular. I started this poultry farm at around March last year, and after 1 month we were done with the poultry fence and then the poultry house as well. And after that 1 month we were now good to bring in our birds. I brought around 35 birds in here, the local birds, and then some male were like, I think 10. So we started. It was quite a good journey for the start, though there were some challenges that I was facing. But obviously in any kind of business you would face challenges at one point or the other. So that one didn't temper us from stopping. We went on, and then birds started multiplying. Every time our laying nests will be filled up with eggs. We could get, I think, more than 10 eggs every day which are being laid. So it was good, and we moved on. And after sometimes I was away from the farm. I went somewhere, and I had nobody who can sustain the farm, so I had to let go of the birds. And then when I came back, I had to restock the birds again. But guys, honestly speaking, local birds are terrible. Local birds are terrible. I have first-hand experience with the local birds. These birds, they grow very slow, very, very slow. And then at some point, the birds, we are trying to actually give, I've really, really tried to actually modernize a way of how I can keep these birds. That's why I had to, prevent a house for them. The birds are used to staying on the trees. They can stay outside. There is no problem with them. So I tried to modernize a way of, keeping them, but it is hard. It was actually like trying to prune a grown-up tree. You know how hard it is. So we actually moved on, and then I started keeping it. But guys, the challenges were huge. As I tell you, were huge. First of all is that these birds, they take time to grow. For a local bird to be ready to be eaten, you must keep it for around 6 to 7 months. That is when it is ready to be eaten. And then if it is an hen, it will be ready to lay eggs. But every time you must give it feeds, and these feeds, you don't get them for free. You must buy the feeds and then you give it to these birds. So when you try to calculate it, guys, it doesn't bring any sense in terms of money side. Absolutely. So that's number one. And then number two is that for you to keep very many local birds, guys, it's very hard. Like for instance, in this poultry farm in here, there is enough land, but these birds, they are made to scratch the ground and then feed on different things. But in here, they are confined in one area. So every morning they go out, they find the grass, nothing else. But when they are like on a free range, let me say in a home, there is leftovers over there, there is something outside, there are insects, very many things. But in here, it is really, really hard. And I think that's why at some point my birds were not laying. Yeah, the feeds that I was giving to them, they're only one feeds. With the local birds, you cannot buy ready-made feeds for them. No, you cannot, because you will be doing nothing. So I actually tried different ways of actually finding cheap feeds for them, but no, it didn't bring sense to them, and it wasn't something that is easy. So this time around, I've decided that no, I'm just wasting my time, absolutely wasting my time. So I'm quitting keeping local birds. But that one doesn't mean that I'm done with the poultry birds or poultry farming. No. I'm very passionate about poultry farming, but the only problem is that I ventured into the wrong breed. Yeah, poultry farming is profitable if you venture into the right breed of birds that you want to keep. Let me say that you have a hen at your home, and then that hen lays, let me say 20, because they are capable of laying up to 20. One hen, you have 20 chicks. That's from one hatch. And then you will be assuming that, what if I have 50 hens and then they lay like this? How many birds will I be having? That's actually what we psychologically think about the local birds, not thinking about how these birds are being raised. So that's actually how I thought about it. But no, with the experience that I've got, it is impossible. Like I was saying, I've quitted keeping the local birds, but that one doesn't mean that I'm done with poultry farming. No, I'm very passionate about this, and every time I sit down, in fact every day, I think about this poultry farm. And this is 2025, and I absolutely have nothing to do in here. But next time when I come back, I think after a year, that's when I'm financially somehow, I would bring layers in here. Yeah, my plan is to bring layers in here. I am not going to do local birds again in this poultry farm, but I'm going to bring in layer birds in here. I'll try to remodify this poultry structure, and then yeah, I would bring the layer birds in here after a year when I'm okay. So this scenario, I don't want it to happen to you at one point or the other, because you would be like somebody who is losing the money that he or she have got. If you try to look around, I've spent around, not something big in amount, but if it is somebody who is just starting up, and then let me say you're renting the land, and then You actually borrow the money from somewhere and then you put it in here, and then all of a sudden it doesn't bring you money. Of course, that's absolutely something not good. So if you do want to venture into anything, guys, into anything, I think this is an extended advice to you guys. Anything, never borrow money to start that business. Like for instance, let me say if I've borrowed money to start this poultry farm and then it failed, how am I going to pay the other person? Of course, nothing. But at the point where I am today, I'm sure that when I start a layer birds or a layer farm, I'm not going to fail. Absolutely. The channel has been very quiet. Very quiet with no videos, and you guys have been asking yourselves what could be the problem. That is what it is, but that one doesn't mean that the knowledge has gone from me. I still have the knowledge, and maybe if you have a question or two, just drop it in the comment section. I am willing to answer. You know, the poultry farm isn't working, but the knowledge in me is still there. You know, don't forget to give this video a like, because we are still there. You know, the channel is still there, and I'm still going to be posting videos for you to learn. You know, we would once in a while have videos popping up on this channel, of course, about poultry keeping. That's what we will be doing time and again, so that by the time we start, most of us will be having, you know, that knowledge about keeping these birds. And as always, make sure you do subscribe. See you in my next video. Bye.